Hi, everybody. Welcome to this episode number 12, is it, Judy?
Number 12.
Number 12 of the Diamond Chronicles, two tales of...
Two?
True. I just got out of the dentist's office, so it could be a little slippery today. True tales of trade, trust, and betrayal, and this, what I refer to as the world's second oldest industry. We won't get into that today because, Judy, it's a bit of a somber day. Mm-hmm. And this is my lovely assistant, GIA, Gemological Institute of America trained. So if you want to talk rocks, you can talk it with her too, since most of our listeners would prefer they hear more from her anyway.
That's too kind, Colin.
But it's a somber morning today for some news Judy just brought to my attention.
The Queen has passed.
Long live the Queen. Mm-hmm. Oh, I guess in this case, it's the Queen has died. Mm-hmm. Long live the King, because it's King Charles that will be taking over. Mm-hmm. As we reflect on this morning, and in terms of talking about diamonds in my global travels, and as you know, we had the office in Antwerp for 15 years, which is just a jump to London. I had the opportunity to do a number of things directly and indirectly with the royal family. I visited London Tower, like a lot of people have, to view the crown jewels. I've been to Buckingham Palace, and many of our listeners don't know this because I don't really talk about it a great deal, but I also received the Duke of Kent, who I believe is fourth or fifth in line to the throne, the Duke of Kent Medal for philanthropy. Mm-hmm. And so I mentioned this, and I would normally not talk about it, but I think it's a bit apropos today. Apropos. I can't see my teeth.
You can't talk today.
I can't talk. My mouth is still a little bit frozen, so forgive me. But so our clients who listen, I know there's a number of you, a little bit of everything that comes to us goes to worthwhile charities all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
And if
we
you
just
have
went
a charity,
to a charity event recently.
We did go to a charity event recently.
Had a little too much fun.
Had a little too much fun in retrospect. And we also have from that charity event, we have the wine tasting.
Can't wait for that.
That we're going to be doing. But yeah, so I guess in terms of the crown jewels, maybe I'll share a little bit about that because I have seen them.
I read that they've never been appraised.
Well, here's the thing. It's probably the biggest asset. Almost all royalty, when you think of investment in diamonds and investment in gold and, diamonds, colored diamonds, big diamonds, rare diamonds, they have no price volatility. Many people estimate that the crown jewels are the biggest monetary asset that the family has. It's quite extraordinary, really. And the reason they haven't been appraised, I'm guessing, is they would be worth so much, there would be taxes to be paid. Mm-hmm. And like the rest of us, apparently the king and queen have to pay taxes. So that would be the off the top of my head, but certainly there's lots of experts in the world that can try to figure that out. So
they estimate it's worth $4 billion.
Yeah, I'm going to say double.
Double?
Yeah. I think if they ever came into the marketplace, some of the wealthier in the world would just love to have those in their portfolio, actually, mm-hmm. as an investment portfolio. I read an article this morning when we talk about rare stones and diamonds, is that they estimate that Argyle pink diamonds in those certain categories, where generally pink diamonds have gone up about 1% a year, these things right now are appreciating at about 18.5% a year.
Oh, wow.
Which is kind of crazy numbers. And again, in certain categories, even more than that. So our tribute to the Queen, I mean, this is one of the most gracious, most amazing women I believe the world has ever seen. And it's sort of a sad note. I mean, my whole life she's been there, and now she's gone. And so to her family and all her heirs and everybody else out there, all you Canadians who, if you recall, whenever the Queen visited, we'd go crazy as a country. It's a very, very sad time. So let's move on from there. By the way, I'll say this, the Cullinan 1 and Cullinan 2, very famous diamonds, they're cut from the biggest diamond ever found, which weighed, I think it's just over 3,000 carats or
Holy
something.
crap.
I can't remember. But it was 1.5 pounds of diamond.
That's insane.
And it was cut into, I believe, somewhere in the area of, it's 38 or 58 diamonds with the two of them, the biggest ones. One's in the scepter, I believe, and one's in the crown. Now, this is all off the top of my head from being a diamond boy. But yeah, it's an extraordinary thing to see diamonds of this size and this value. It's fun to see. So yes, Queen Elizabeth, rest in peace, girl.
So,
Where do we go from here today?
where do we go from here?
TikTok.
Colin has become a viral sensation on TikTok.
Well, we had one go viral, that's
We had
for
two
sure.
go viral.
We had two go viral.
Went
I
over
guess.
100,000.
Right?
One was
Like-
over 100,000. The other was over 400,000.
So if you guys don't know, what we do here a lot is we take people behind the scenes of the diamond business, and we've never really been open to the public. So if you're someone who's been able to buy from us, we're the
Kind of
company.
exclusive.
Pardon me?
We're kind of exclusive.
Well, not really. What we are is we're the guys that sell to the guys that sell to the jewelry store. And so one of these TikToks that went viral, I guess that is exclusive, by the way, but one of these...
Colin just likes to disagree with everything I say.
Are you in that mood today? Is that what we're dealing with?
So let's talk about why this TikTok went viral in the first place.
Well, it's interesting because one of the things, I had lunch a little while ago with a very, very, very successful client of ours and a very long-term friend of ours. And, he talked about, when we talk about things, about, true stories of trade, trust, and betrayal. And one of the things that we've talked about that does not make us popular in the trade, but it's the truth, is that there's been betrayal. Like, people don't know. Like, that TikTok that went to, it's almost 450,000 views now with 15,000 likes, talks about the fact that when a diamond is in a piece of jewelry, you can't grade any aspect for it.
And because the public is so ignorant about this topic and not understanding that you can't grade a diamond if it's set in jewelry. So I think that's why it went so viral.
I like the fact that you use the word ignorant, and it's because the industry, in 1939, this 4 C's of diamonds, the cut, the color, the clarity, and the carat, were developed for an ignorant industry. And when we say ignorant, we're not talking about rude. We're talking
Right.
about uninformed.
Uninformed, yeah. Uneducated.
Uneducated. Something else, but I can't think of the word right now. But an ignorant industry to sell to an even more ignorant public. Now, this was in 1939, and here we are,
2022, you can only imagine how much
80-some
information.
years later, and if you walk into a jewelry store,
They're still using that
they're
system.
still using the 4 C's, which really fall far short of what you really need to
Right.
know. And here's the really scary part. They can say whatever they want. A jeweler can say whatever they want. And believe me, when you're walking downtown Vancouver in these massive jewelry stores paying tens of thousands of dollars in overheads for rents and, $500,000 to put lighting in so your diamonds sparkle in their store, you're paying for all of this.
Right.
And there's a real temptation to embellish the value of the goods. So when you have a diamond in a setting, you can't put it on a scale and see what it weighs. And if a jeweler says, oh, it's a 1 carat stone and it only weighs 99 points,
Right.
and this happens all the time. And the other one, I was reading an article from the Jewelers Vigilance Society a couple days ago, is the carat of gold. Gold's very expensive right now. So So to start with, they can tell you anything they want to about the quality of the diamond. They can give you these beautiful written out appraisals saying it's this, that, the other thing. These are not legal documents. They don't mean anything. It's a jeweler's opinion.
Right.
And they get away with this under the guise of subjectivity. It's subjective when it's not really subjective at all, because I can assure you there's companies out there, like we do, who have the technology to accurately grade these things every time. And I think we're going to see this. I think we're going to see, now with lab-grown diamonds, the technology's here to do so many things with diamonds. There's that aspect of it, but this other article, which I thought was frightening, was the carat of gold in your ring. So if you go in and you order an 18 karat gold ring...
Wait, don't tell me it's not fully 18 karat.
What if it's 16 karat or 17 karat? It's a huge savings, and you don't know the difference. And this article talked about the fact that this is what's going on. So gold is so high, it's so expensive, that if they make their rings in 17 karat instead of 18 karat, it's called undercarating. It's extremely common in the industry.
Really?
And so they can use alloy, which costs nothing, and you would never know the difference without getting tested.
But then can they stamp the jewelry with 18K even though it's 17?
Not only can they
They
do.
Oh, that's
so
scary.
it's very little difference from. So you got to watch all these things. You can get testers nowadays that will actually test the gold content. And I hate to say it, us, we go backstage, we find out what's going on, and we're not trying to be controversial, but what we are trying to do is show our clients what goes on in the backstage of the industry so they don't have to deal with these things. Right? But yeah, it's been going on for a very long time. And more so now with the price of gold. Interesting, isn't it?
I want to bring up this email that one of our viewers, our TikTok viewers,
Yes.
sent us. And so he was interested in obtaining some diamonds from us.
Right.
Right. And said that lab-grown diamonds are not real. He went to a jeweler. They tested out lab-grown diamonds with one of those tools.
Right.
And apparently they were not real.
First of all, whenever you hear stories about people going to jewelers to test things, I can never comment on those things. I don't know what kind of technology they have. Most jewelry stores do not have the appropriate technology like we do to test for these things. And so his email was about the fact, when he emailed me, and we're going to be doing the work for him, he emailed me with the fact that he had been informed by his jeweler that lab-created diamonds are not diamonds. And what I did at the time, Judy, was it was interesting because we've been so busy, you guys. Like, we, for the first time, are selling directly to the public. And we're busy. People want the best price. They
People
want
from all
the
over
best
the
product.
world, which is crazy.
It's just
TikTok
crazy.
did that.
We're shipping to Australia. We're shipping back east. It's so busy for us. But in regard to this gentleman, he said that they weren't real diamonds. And I don't make cases for people. Anything we talk about here, I'm not going to argue with someone. All I do is provide the evidence.
Right.
And the evidence in this particular case is an article from Forbes where LVMH,
The largest luxury retailer.
in the world, owning brands like what are those
Vuitton.
purses, Louis Vuitton, and the champagnes, and the article talks about and this is Forbes saying this.
Saying
It's from
labs are
June
luxury.
of 2022 that lab-grown diamonds are now luxury. 'Cause
Pandora. Even Pandora.
Well, hang on before we move on to Pandora. With LVMH, not only did they start using them, but they're opening their own manufacturing. They bought into the
Right,
business,
right.
like De Beers did. The biggest mine supplier in the world is producing their own. Pandora, you're absolutely right, Judy. Pandora, the biggest jeweler in the world. And when we say this, it's by far, for ethical reasons, Pandora has, and you can Google all of these things, has stopped using mined diamonds. It's a fascinating story. Look, it's as I talked about in the news last week, the fact that right now, due to demand from the United States of America, lab-created exports from India, and understand this, 9 out of 10 diamonds in the world, 9 out of 10, 90% go through India, whether they're out of a mine or a laboratory, for polishing. It's such a fascinating story. And then, of course, we have the myth movie, as I call it.
Nothing Lasts Forever.
Nothing Lasts
that
Forever.
Documentary.
You can Google this as well. It's coming out. The trailer talks about
It was supposed to come out.
These, we got invited to the premiere in New York. We didn't go. We weren't really that interested in flying to New York for a movie. But apparently, these things have been in the diamond pipeline for 15, over a decade.
Yeah, 15 years.
And no one can tell the difference. So it's all very, very convoluted. Here, with our clients, it's different. We're backstage. We're not a retailer. We're not worried about sucking profits out of you to pay our expensive overheads. I mean, when
we
you
don't
walk
have
in,
the overheads, too, though.
Well, that's, true diamond brokers. This has been a tradition, and it's very much a traditional business at our level, is to keep overheads low, providing maximum value for your clients.
Right.
So, yeah, it's our offices, our offices. It's not retail space. I had to say that to someone the other day. They wanted to come look at our retail space. Anyway, so there you go. That is kind of the backstage story in the industry today with what's going on with lab and mine diamonds. And I feel like we almost talk about it too much. But, guys, this is a time in the industry that the industry is truly changing.
Our role in the business, I think, is just to provide our listeners with the facts, right? We're not here to convince anybody.
That's right. That's right. We're not here to compel anything, just the facts.
Provide the facts.
So, and let me give you a price comparison. So I want to talk about a stone yesterday that is a diamond and how buying with us really is. So the diamond is a 3-carat stone. It's a round, brilliant cut diamond. And it's posted on one of the biggest websites in the world.
We're not going to say who, are we?
I don't think we should say. Okay. We can't say who because of agreements we have. We deal directly with supplying retail, some of the biggest companies in the world, with their diamonds. So we have to be a little bit, a little bit discreet about that sort of thing. But you can guess. But here's a diamond that we have that's listed on one of the biggest sites in the world. It's a white diamond. It's round, brilliant. It's a D color. It's a triple excellent GIA VS1, my favorite grade. The grade I gave my wife when we got married. And it's lab created. It's got GIA certification, the Gemological Institute of America certification on the stone. The GIA said for decades they would never certify a lab-created diamond, but they do now as of last Christmas. So this is a beautiful, stunning GIA certified stone. It was listed on a website for $17,000, almost $18,000 US. We provided that exact same stone through our, look, we sell to the trade, that's no doubt about it, but we sell to the same,
drum roll, please,
for under $14,000. So we were able to save that client, and this is a wholesale, very respected online. So that exact same diamond that we control, we saved our client $4,000 off of what they would have paid to a so-called wholesaler.
What did you say again to him? You said, you don't know how much you love me.
You don't know how much. Our clients don't know how much they love us when they do business with us. So that was an example. By the way, Judy, we also valued it as a mine cut. So our stone of under $14,000, and sorry, I don't have my notes in front of me, US dollars. If that was a mine diamond where, remember this, my eyes and, your eyes, Judy, let's go with youth and maturity. Okay. My eyes cannot tell the difference in these two stones. The one that came out of a mine is the exact same grade, GIA certified, 65,000 US dollars, and the lab created one is 14.5. Like, what would you do?
There's no way to tell the difference.
There's no way to tell the difference.
If I were getting engaged to, which is very not likely at this point, I would want a lab-grown diamond.
It's interesting. When we search diamonds for our clients, and this is our job, right? If we don't have them, we are brokers. We will buy and sell from the mines or the cutters for our clients. When we go looking for mine diamonds, there's hundreds, literally hundreds. We were looking
just
for
yesterday,
carat and a half yesterday.
I kept having to flip through the pages.
Right? Like so many, all the same size, all exactly 1.5, all D, all VS1, all triple X. It's my favorite grade. I think it's the best grade in the world. And there's so many available, and that doesn't include the 1.5 ones and the category, which would be thousands of stones. Yet go to find one out of a lab, and
it's so much harder to find.
There's so much harder because they're selling.
They're so sought after.
India, $8 billion of lab-created diamonds because of demand for the U.S. These are the numbers. It's astronomical. That's $8 billion worth into the U.S. alone. So, yeah, it's an exciting time in the industry. And again, we're here to report facts. But to me, if a jeweler was telling me my diamond's one grade when it's another, I would be pretty upset. To me, if a jeweler was telling me the carat of gold is 18, it's 17 or 16 or 15 or whatever, I'd be pretty upset. This is not a part of the industry that's policed. They turn a blind eye to it. There's always an excuse. But there shouldn't be. Anyway, so there you go. There's my rant for this week, okay? And my little educational component, to come back to it, this is the TikTok that went viral. Because people don't know this.
People don't understand.
They don't understand. Like you can be told anything. It's simple to fix. This is the other important thing. It's simple. It's easy to see your diamond loose. A couple $100 worth of gold, you can put $1 million diamond in it, and as soon as that diamond goes in, you can't grade any component of it. I mean, and then there's the whole question of, is that the diamond I bought that's in my ring? We can resolve all these things for you.
Yeah.
So there you go. How's that for this week? And forgive us, we're a little bit bummed, I think, over the Queen Elizabeth announcement. I know I am. I certainly grew up with her as a strong influence, especially if you're from Canada. Anything else, Judy? What's going on next week? Do we know yet? Have we decided what our podcast is going to be? Look, we really appreciate the emails. Today, we thought we were going to just talk about TikTok and what's going on, but the death of the Queen certainly requires some
kind of big news,
time and attention, particularly when we have direct interaction with the royal family. By the way, just so you know, the Duke and I went up to Whistler and partied. I received it in the medal in an award ceremony, and then we went up to the Fairmont in Whistler and got some wine. Yeah, we had a really good time. Super great guy. And in those days, I was driving a Range Rover, so it was kind of perfect because that's the Queen's car.
Oh.
Right? It's a British-made car.
Is it really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
It is.
Anyways, stay tuned and follow our TikTok. We are going to be posting pretty consistently on there. And, until next time. Colin?
Judy?
Colin?
See you next week.
See you next week.